business. Ugh! That's what I used to think. I thought, business can't be for me. I'm in the arts. But boy was I wrong. Let's see. Which of the intended learning outcomes were most of interest to me? Well, I'd say the first one, realizing the importance of art and culture in society. Art and culture is everywhere. This class made me recognize art and culture in society like I never did before. I mean, you don't really realize until this class that art and culture is not a luxury. It's not something to take advantage of, and it's not something to cut from our systems or from our government or from funding. It's something that is unique. It teaches history. It creates identity. It inspires us. It's everything. Without this, what do we have to live for? The most challenging thing for me, I guess, was learning to create real professional work. I mean, with my first paper, kind of a fail on my part. I mean, I learned the guidelines, I learned the expectations, and that was the challenge for me, was getting my head around those. But I feel like by the end of it, with the 20 to 25 page paper that I wrote, which is the longest paper I've ever written in my entire life, I felt like I accomplished something. I didn't cheat, I didn't add more space in between the lines or make the margins bigger. I just took the guidelines and I got them done. I guess what I learned about art and culture management that was the most surprising was that it's relevant. I mean, for someone like me in drama, you want to think money, business, it's not important to you. But without that business aspect, without that administration, without the management, theaters aren't possible. A theater company isn't going to run without that. You can't just have the actors. You need the production manager, you need the artistic director, you need the board, you need someone to make the decisions, someone somewhere to get the money from. And I mean, whether you want to admit it or not, that's a part of everything. Live theater, for example. An art and culture organization without enough funding, without the proper management and administration, won't survive. Especially for art and culture organizations who don't necessarily make the profit themselves. I mean, look at Théâtre Sans Fil. Their productions cost $500,000 to $800,000, and they're not going to make that money in tickets. You got to find the money somewhere, and someone's got to be responsible for that. The most interesting course activities and my most valuable learning experiences were probably the tours. The tours of Town Hall, the Heritage Museum, the art galleries. Talking with people who live and breathe art and culture for a career, for a business, for a lifestyle every day are the people who I learned the most from. I mean, talking with real people, getting their real opinions, not just reading it off of a page, was so much more valuable to learn from for me than anything else we could have done in class. Which is why I decided that it might be valuable to go and talk to someone else. about art and culture and society and management and business, someone who might know a little more than me, and someone who you might have heard of. Dr. Poligato! Look what I found! Now, for this interview, I had about an hour worth of footage, and it was all incredible. If you want to see it sometime, let me know. But I decided to pick the most important topics relevant to my comparative company profile paper and to this course and what I learned in this course. So the topics that he touches on are the importance of arts and culture in society, his new mission to create accessible art through his summer festivals, which are free, and how he adapted his shows to different expectations, and he also spoke about his administrative staff. So, enjoy! Okay. Okay, the first thing I wanted to ask you, just because our class is about like arts and culture organizations, I wanted to ask you like what arts and culture organizations like this theater and like museums and stuff like that mean to you, like why are they important in society? That's a big question.
Yeah, you're right.
You can talk about this one in particular.
Very strong.
Yeah.
And very big. You know, it's a question of what was our way of company. You know, historically, when we founded the company, we were students in university here in Montreal,
right.
called Université du Québec, which is a state university, and we were in drama.
Right.
But, you know, it was in 1970, 71. And what happened when we decided, kind of a special experience that we got with a professional puppeteer. Yeah. So what we did on that time, the first time, we created a giant puppet show based on the bunraku style, which is Japanese style. Yeah. But it was totally different of the bunraku, but we could see the source of that. Yeah. For us, it was just an experience. The festival in Washington.
Right.
That festival was a World Puppet Festival, and every 4 years there's a kind of puppet festival like that.
Cool.
And it was the first time in America, the first time in Washington D.C. And on that time we represented Canada and Quebec, and we presented two Indian tales, Blue Sky Takes a Wife and The White Raven. So it was beautiful. That we got wonderful reactions. So for us it was important. It was the first time that we were leaving Canada. Not first time leaving Quebec, but leaving Canada. And we were a bit anxious because over there during that festival it was the best puppet company in the world. And we were quite young, just 10 years of existence compared to Figuren Theater of Amsterdam, you know, kind of Japanese, the Puck, and you know, or Russian companies, or you know, that kind of stuff. But it opened the market. Yeah. It opened the U.S. market. Yeah. And in our life, all the time, it has been our first market. Why? For different reasons. Because it's a strong market, big market, close of our borders. Yeah. Just in fact, at 35 miles of Montreal. And very important. And so we presented Indian tales, but when we decided to create The Hobbit. It was in when we presented the first show, the premiere has been done here in Montreal in 1979. 1 year before going to the United States with the tales, the Indian tales. But because it was a special book, it has been a special book for myself, and I've, you know, that kind of literature, fantastic literature, fits to my desire, fits also to the puppets. Yeah. And so when we decided to create The Hobbit, it was the biggest challenge in our life. Yeah. And we put everything that we got, every penny that we got, and we said, oh my God, will we succeed? If we do not succeed, we will fall down.
Because all the money will be gone.
Yes, yes. And we got financial support from government, but not a lot, not a lot. But by chance, it has been very successful. Yeah.
Let's see, which questions to ask? I guess, well, this is a big question too, but how has like business and management, like administration kind of thing, been a part of your job with this? Is it like the whole thing? The whole job is all that?
Well. That's a strong question. There, in some companies, some drama companies, you have the artistic director on one side,
yeah,
and the administrator on the other one,
right,
the general manager or the administrator. So here it's true and not. All the time I've been artistic director and directing shows, and artistic director, and also in charge of the administration of the company.
Wow.
But it doesn't mean that there's
not other people.
Of course, there's other people. One especially about the real administration, and another one charge of the booking tour,
right,
and booking,
yeah,
and another one for the contability. But you know, all the time, a small group, not a lot.
Yeah.
Plus our technical director, you know. So,
yeah,
and the one in charge of the workshop. So a small team of 5-6 people.
Wow.
And over that, we got agents in different parts of the world.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's very important in the company if you want to go outside. Because it's not so easy to book from here to book in the United States is not too bad.
Yeah.
But if you want to book in Asia, or if you want to book in Europe, from Montreal, it's not so easy.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trouble. And also, for example, our agent is based in New York, but she's taking care of different other companies.
Okay.
And for example, right now it's in Philly, APAP, or something like that, where it's a reunion of different agents for different shows, and she's there for us and for other companies.
Yeah.
And it's more interesting, it costs less, and also that person will go in 4 different places in the same year in the United States, which for us it's not so easy to do.
Yeah.
And they know her.
Yeah.
They know her for years.
Yeah.
And okay,
they trust her.
Yeah, you can trust, because that's another point. In that kind of business, you have to establish yourself, and after that because before, and maybe now, I don't know, some agent can be a big crook, or kind of. It's very important to be honest. This is what we have to say, and this is what we need, and this is what you will get.
Yeah.
And if you like that, and if you times you're dead.
Yeah.
As a company or as an agent.
Yeah, no,
and it's very important.
About why this is so important for kids to get the arts and culture experience. Like, in just a few words, can you explain like why that is so important, like for kids to be exposed to these kinds of things?
Oh, well, as I mentioned, I'm sure this is a part of evolution. It will bring new gates for the kids. Because if they stay all together in their different difficult life, they will not survive, or they will do exactly what their parents did, which is not what we want to do. We want them having the chance, and they have to see that they can do something else. The kids will not evolve. His own evolution will not be the same.
Yeah.
It's, the culture is so important, different aspect of culture, the visual, the drama, the everything. It's so important for the evolution of your
mind,
brain.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, as you notice in the world, when you are in some special parts of a country or a city, very poor, these people are staying between, that kind of stuff, not having real contact with arts, and just trying to do the same thing as their parents did before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a vicious circle, and it's not what we call society evolution. If they don't have any dreams, You have dreams to go to New York, to live in New York, to be successful. You have a good idea of what you want to do. You want to be back in British Columbia, but you want to work with music and that.
Yeah.
This is hard, because you learn, you saw, and now you can decide. If you don't see that, how can you get that kind of idea?
Yeah.
It's impossible. And that's what we call educational,
Yeah.
Fight for survival, fight for education.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we have to do. And now my mission is to work on that. That's what I prefer to do right now.
To making the arts more accessible.
Yes, to make arts accessible to everywhere, and to try to, of course, as a little drop in the ocean, but try to make life better for them and to give them the chance to evolve and to reach something else and to discover different aspects.
So is that carnival free then?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the whole carnival is
It's totally free. So
That's incredible.
The problem is to find money to get
Of
that
course,
special.
yeah.
And very often we have some workshops, and the first, I opened the carnival with a défilé, with people, all the artists working at night in the city, on the street, and with a lot of, with the fire, and the creating something strong as the first night opening.
Right.
To
pull people in.
Yeah. And also, that's all. Every year we are doing on Sunday, or kind of a collective, can I say, community dinner.
Okay.
We have the support of the Marché Public de Montréal, and so we have a big, huge paella, the Spanish paella, and so offering to 500 people, free, totally free.
Wow.
And for the first time we did that, for them it was the first time that they discovered what's the paella with that kind of shrimps and rice and that kind of Spanish meal. Of course, for them it's too expensive to have that, and it was for them a discovery. And we noticed that there was some young boys coming 2-3 times, and the day after they said, will we get that tomorrow? Today? No, unfortunately just once. But we see that it's financially, economically very tough.
Yeah. Andre Viens taught me things that I couldn't have read in a book. He taught me what he actually thought and what he experienced and what he lived for, and that's inspiring. He seemed to know exactly what to say and exactly what I wanted to hear and exactly what I needed to hear to learn what I needed to learn for this class. How do I want to be involved in the art and culture sector in the future? It's everything I want to be involved in. I want to act, I want to sing, I want to perform, I want to make films, I want to live it. It couldn't have been more relevant to me, really. It's what I want to do. So thank you, Dr. Poligato. I hope my video was a little less boring than reading a 10-page paper. And thanks for everything you've taught me. I hope that I see you soon.